Hello, I'm Arun Malhotra and I'm with you on ETAuto Unplugged Season 2. In ETAuto Unplugged, we discuss on various facets of the auto industry with industry leaders. We get into an area, focus on it, how it makes tick, what are the developments and what are the shape of things to come. And one of the topics which has always been a fascinating topic has been IT and auto are integrated. Something is visible, something is not visible. And we have a very special guest with us to discuss this topic. And he's a person who's synonymous with the evolution, development, and he's also a thought leader of the auto IT industry. And I'm talking of none other than a gentleman I have with me, Mr. Rajesh Uppal, who's the group executive member also of Maruti Suzuki. Welcome, Rajesh.
Thank you so much, Arun.
So, Rajesh, starting before we get to the IT journey, just wanted to understand or get to know you better from your school. What was your point? You went into engineering. How did it happen?
I'm from a small town in Punjab. Did my schooling.
Which town?
It was Patiala.
Patiala is not a small town.
So did my schooling from there and then went to engineering college, which is in Patiala only, Thapar.
Okay.
So I did my engineering from there.
And
then from there I landed into a public sector company there, Bharat Heavy Electricals.
So which branch of engineering you did do?
I was a mechanical engineer.
So you're a mechanical engineer?
Absolutely.
And when you joined BHEL, and this would be in the early 80s?
It was 81. And moving to IT was a very interesting journey. You know, I wanted to go to shop floor, hardcore mechanical engineer, work on shop floors and all. But you know, they had taken an aptitude test while during the training of first year in BHEL. And they said, no, you should the IT and you should go to IT over there. And that's where my journey from mechanical to IT started. And
so there was phenomenal latent talent of IT, which was not part of your journey of your engineering, but which flows. So the loss of mechanical engineering is a gain of the IT industry. So straight from your first assignment, you're part of the IT industry.
Absolutely. And I know in initial days, working from 8 o'clock in the morning, right, 2 o'clock to know IT and understand the news of IT was my routine. Make sure that after 1 year I started contributing and maybe managing lots and lots of portfolio in BHEL was my journey of IT, I think.
And I still remember in those days, because I also did my engineering, I mean, cracking BHEL was one of the most difficult, most aspirational job for engineers, which is there.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you would have been a bright student. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
So IT, we are talking about the 80s, and then you worked in BHEL?
For 5 years, and then moved into Maruti in 1985.
And since then you have been Maruti.
Absolutely.
So Maruti, nearly 4 decades you've been in Maruti, which is there.
Yes.
So that also you moved into IT.
Straightway to IT and then started as an entry level and
okay.
Started heading IT in 98.
So, you know, from log cabin to White House, you covered the journey in 15 years.
Absolutely.
And you started a career in 81 and 98 you were heading IT of the largest auto company of the country. So just to able to take back, I mean, this industry must have evolved. IT and auto. And that was a phase also when you joined, the revolution of the auto industry came. We had all the 4 Japanese two-wheelers coming in. We had the LCVs coming in. And last but not the least, Maruti Suzuki coming in. So that was a phase of 82, 84. So just from that, how did IT evolve and how was the IT as an integral part of the evolution of the auto industry? Taking from 80s and then forward.
Before coming to that, I think one important part of Maruti has been, I think, a visionary leadership at Maruti from very beginning. Mr. Bhargav, Mr. Krishnamurthy and all. They had a vision that IT can change the world, factory, and that kind of impact can create. They created IT as a business vertical in 1982, that this is the one vertical we should have, parallel to manufacturing, sales and supply chain. So they created that vertical way back in 1982.
82 to create an IT vertical in a manufacturing auto company.
Yes.
Is unbelievable, but that's true.
So that's the kind of, I think one of the success of Maruti being good in IT has been the kind of foundation we created there in 1982, 83. Okay. Now coming to the journey, I think 82, 83, that time frame was only the, where it's a batch processing. You give a data, you get a reports and consume the reports. Could be financial, payroll, accounting and those kind of things around. Nothing more than that factory. But when I joined Maruti in 1985, one of the first job we created was, let's create IT online. So material coming at the gate should be captured at that time, payment should be made within 1 week, and the sales should happen real time. So I think 85 is the time frame when we started moving from a batch kind of systems to online systems to work on. And that's where the whole, backend ERP started coming in and all, and then the whole systems of keeping all the records in the system is the area which started
And
over
this was
there.
homegrown. There's nothing you could import anything.
Absolutely. The ERP was just coming in and all. We tried our hand on some of the ERPs. We couldn't really manage that and all, but it was most homegrown, but run all the systems into this and all. Then phase came of ERPs and CRMs and all. So next phase was, instead of developing everything in-house, can we have a products running in our businesses and all? So the whole ERPs, CRMs and other systems around came the next phase of the year, where the online system, run your system end to end or your company end to end on IT was the next phase of the IT.
And which year was that?
We started this work sometime in late 80s and early 90s, and in phase manner keep on adopting that, improving that in our systems. But I think thing in IT has been, or area in the technology area, which is very fascinating, and I feel it very, very interesting, is that there's nothing like steady state. Everything is improving. You get some technology today, after 2 years it's obsolete, so you are keep on improving. You got a ERP today, something new comes up, you keep on doing that and all. So this one subject where continuous improvement, continuous changes is something order of the day, and you need to manage that regularly.
How was its status in globally when this time started in the mid-80s? How did you get any help from the global auto industry or auto practices, or it was made in India or make in India for India?
It was mostly make in India. I think we
so there was no precedence you could take from or just build upon that?
Not really. In fact, we started systems like, Maruti had something like just in time. Now your material should come in the time when it's required and all. So those kind of systems are even not there in ERP as a process itself and all. So I think for us it was to really look at Japan as the country. And how do they manage those processes and bring it to India and do it on a IT systems was the change we could establish in India around and all.
So basically understanding the processes and the business need and translating it into how that business process could be more efficient, more productive, and output could be catalyzing thing.
Absolutely.
That was the part of it.
Absolutely. Things like just in time, having a less than a day inventories and manage those systems around was the order of the day when we did that time initially.
Tell me one thing, Rajesh, there were no colleges who were used to produce IT engineers that time. So when this journey with the late 80s to 90s was starting, you didn't have Indian engineering graduates with IT background. You had mechanical, civil, electric, electronics. So how did you recruit people, train people, and develop people at that time?
I think it was a learning journey for everybody at that time. So, but there are some softwares like COBOLs and those things are available at that time and all. So we really got a fresh graduates from the engineerings or predominantly mechanical engineering, and also MCAs to help us to do that and all. Now and train them how to program, how to create outputs and all. But again, my belief from very beginning has been that you need to understand your business very, very well and all. This technology are mechanical coding process. You understand the whole flow of coding. You can use one language, other language and all. You can just in no time learn other languages around and all. I think you are able to understand the business requirements, and then technology or coding was just a mechanical process or a syntax to really be done, and then the output could be generated. I think that's the thing. So we got lots of people who could understand the businesses and also have the logical mindset to code that to bring it to the software for usage was the change we could bring in.
One tenet which, and I have also observed it because I had an opportunity to work with you, is think of business. Think of the business ecosystem, there's challenges, there's opportunities, and work around that and create. IT is integrated into this. It doesn't start from IT, it starts from the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
So how difficult it is to ingrain this idea at every level? I'm not talking of Maruti, or I'm talking across industry.
It is, I think, lots and lots of communication. Lots and lots of communication to everybody. That people get bogged down by technologies, ERPs and stuff like that. End of the day, business outcomes which does matter. And I think that has to be taught and preached to everybody on that. That's the way IT could be successful, frankly.
Just to take an idea, because the early 90s also saw this IT revolution, which is beyond the auto industry. I mean, across with the IT majors came in. Did this phase also coincide with this, or because you started the journey much before the IT boom or so-called started?
Yeah.
So how did it run parallelly? Did you gain out of it, or how did it work?
Arun, I think in Maruti, with the leadership we had, focus was on how do we really make sure that you are more efficient today than you were yesterday. Now that's the kind of focus over there. In fact, I still remember one of the lessons which Mr. Bhargav gave me in my first of the mentoring session with him was that somebody asked him, what is the IT should do for you? So his answer very clearly was that you as a person should know what are the decisions you want to take. IT just should provide you enough information to take that right decision. So it's everything about that. How can you convert all the transactions into a right decision-making support? Is the way IT should be working on. So that you are always helping the businesses to do their job better, more efficiently, more effectively, take right decisions and all, is the way we should be working on.
Now, if you look at the evolution of the auto industry, there must have been certain areas, which really were the path breaking, or which are, inflection points in the industry, which moved the industry up. Maruti was clearly the leader of that, but these are the inflection points which really raise the bar of IT or raise the importance of IT in the auto industry. So could you take us through some of them and some interesting insights into them?
See, IT in auto is, if you ask me simply, is into three buckets. One is very important bucket is of the customers. Now, how do you make sure that you give right customer experience, you get customer understanding, you get all the pulses from the customer data and all, and bring it back to the organization. So that's the one big bucket of all the application which supports manage customer, dealers, and maybe transporters and all to manage the businesses on that side. Second part is inside the plant. Your manufacturing, your HR systems, your accounting systems, and that block of application to support that and all is the second bucket we used to work on. And third, very important for us is the supply chain, our procurement side. Tier 1, tier 2s, and all those things around. How can you communicate with them? You collaborate with them to build a new product. You collaborate with them to get the lines running, and your quality testing data coming in. So that's the second part, third part. So that's how the three buckets of IT applications need to be focused and need to be make sure that you run that efficiently, each piece separately, but integrated together into a one single process. That's all.
R&D would figure in the second bucket. Research and
R&D will
development
be part of second bucket.
Second bucket.
All right life cycle from product development to the bill of materials to manufacturing and all the things.
From your perspective, which of the three buckets is the most challenging bucket? Or most really requires maximum effort?
I guess all the things about, but customer side is a little more important because you are such a widespread organization, and for a Maruti kind of organization, you are there everywhere. Today, we sell a service of car at more than 10,000 locations. Now, how do you make sure that you manage whole network and ensure that you have a application supported or all the data captured from each point? And all, I think is the major, most challenging is that customer part, I guess.
Just take us through one or two interesting projects which you think have been the game changers. It could be a game changer in Maruti, but now it's become a part and parcel the auto industry cannot live without.
Sure.
Just to take one or two interesting projects.
Maybe
and to
I'll touch upon three areas, frankly. One is the customer side. Way back in 2005, we thought we should have run our dealership like McDonald's. That similar kind of customer experience should be given. In fact, you were there with me when we started this project.
I know very genuinely.
So the whole customer management at dealership point gave them a single application running from our data center, supporting all the customer interactive platform at that time. Today, it's all available on mobiles and tablets and all those things.
We are talking about 20 years back.
2005 is to 4-5 is when we developed this back. And all.
Nobody had done it.
In fact, we did a global RFP for this. We didn't find anybody who can do it for us. So we did a ground up.
So, and it was not only in the auto industry. Was it done in some other industries in India?
No.
So it's like that Alistair MacLean's movie where eagles dare.
The issue was actually that time the network was just coming up. Internet was just coming up. And we used to call people at midnight on, on the low STD rates around and all. At that time, we
Low
thought,
STD rates. That's
yes. So
very
we thought that time we should connect our dealers, ask dealers to run their business from our application so that there's a standardization across, same pricing, same component, the visibility on which vehicle they have, which color customer is asking for, which defect is coming in the
But
service.
IT infrastructure was not so developed across the country.
Absolutely. We
So
had a major
big challenge.
challenges. We have major
Because
challenges initially.
Delhi, Bombay is all right, but you have to cover hundreds of towns.
Absolutely.
Huh?
We had a lot of wireless networks and all. We have one big team only working on creating a network to support that, And at that time, mind it, we didn't have internet.
Oh now my
life,
God! So
now,
think
now
of
life,
this,
now life is much simpler
internet.
than with internet coming in now to remote side. You can do it through a wireless. But I think we were talking about that time when it was not there at all and all. But I think it was a very successful project. Really create a very good customer experience for our customer of uniform at all dealerships.
And you said it was not there in any other industry.
Absolutely.
Because most companies have dealers, distributors, where there's a consumer durable, FMCG. There's so many industries in India. So, I mean, for an auto company to think it over, logically one would think this would start somewhere from the FMCG industry, supposed to be in marketing terms, they're supposed to be the front runner of the industry.
I still give attribute to my senior top management who appreciate these ideas and give you freedom to work on.
And it's a heavy investment at that time.
Heavy
investment. Had to do.
Yes.
So that was from the customer. Any other interesting
Second
point?
is the whole OT, the operational technology at shop floor. Now, how do you make sure that you're producing the right car with the right quality for right customer? How to connect all your shop floor equipment to the IT system and produce right car at right time? I think it's a big area for work, which I think we did in 98, 99 time frame. But again, a very challenging project that time to work on. But I think it's again a very, very successful project where whole operations are run on IT platforms.
So when this production project was done, or when you talked of this right time, this thing, what was the practices? Because generally people say US is the mother of where the auto industry started, or Japan. People talk US, Japan, China followed later. Where was they on that journey?
They also had some of the systems available at that time, and it's continuously improving over the period
they
of
were
time.
the generations ahead, or it was just on the same level field?
Almost similar.
So
similar. But we did at much lower cost, using the whole open source technologies and simple technologies to work on, and ensure that not only we work on that, even our suppliers are connected to this to work on and all.
Frugal.
So that we can tell our suppliers that, okay, what time, what component to be supplied to us and work on that is the whole wholesome operation technology integrated with our partners ecosystem was built, and also integrated with our sales system so that we know the demand coming from there or order coming from the marketing side, landing into a production and then run it over there.
So, the understanding, it's a total ecosystem. You're talking of dealers one side, customers going to dealers, dealers coming to company, suppliers feeding back.
Then going to suppliers and making sure that you get components right just in time when it is required in the production line.
Sure.
And then again, there we did a very pioneer project, learning from Japan as a process of a Kanban and making it an IT-enabled system to ensure that we run our manufacturing just in time with less than a day inventory to ensure that we run that down. So it's a whole chain of supply chain, right from the customer to manufacturing to the suppliers. To run that together is the applications which need to work on that.
Just to understand the supplier piece, because see, dealers, you have direct dealers, all are direct dealers. But suppliers, you have tier 1 and then you have tier 2. And some of the tier 2 don't deal with you, they go through the tier 1.
Absolutely.
So how do you integrate the entire value chain of supply chain?
There, I think the system we worked on was, or rather process we worked on was that we will run a inventory not in days, in hours.
The unit of frequency was
in 2 hours bucket.
Oh,
so you said, okay, you should bring
not month to week to days, it is 2 hours.
2 hour basis. So you said the supply.
So it's always important the unit of currency which you have.
Sure. So that's where we really build the solutions and all and ensure that we have that running for the company.
Any remember challenge which you had, which is unbelievable, it seems, this is unsurmountable. But now it has become part and parcel, which you looked at that time. Because you see the ecosystem, the environment, the IT technology, all was very different. I mean, it's good to talk now. So, I mean, just trying to understand what are the typical challenges which comes through. Because a lot of people get bogged down by challenges. This is a challenge. So I just want to understand any challenges which you faced.
I guess 2 areas, frankly. One is that, we are running a very huge businesses, frankly. people are always scared to touch the systems and saying, okay, yeah,
status quo.
status quo kind of thing, and your business are running fine.
Okay.
How do we change that and all? I think
Disrupt ho jayega business and we
and who will be accountable for that and all?
who will be accountable?
So that's the one big change is how to make sure that you have that IT or digital mindset with all your users look at that, and then set up that process in place to do that and all. I think is the one big area of our work to handle that. Secondly, also there's one challenge I always feel that is, in IT industry, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of, actual realization what can happen. So your ability to decipher hype to reality of the technology around. So your ability to find right technologies to implement and work on is the
So
second.
सिर्फ जोश नहीं चाहिए, होश भी चाहिए. जोश तो चाहिए, पर साथ में होश चाहिए.
Absolutely.
You need that part of it. Now, aligning people, because you're talking of different things. You're talking of suppliers, you're talking of transporters, you're talking of internal people. How important is the entire concept of change management? Because it's mindset.
Absolutely.
One is a team which is directly reports to you.
Yeah.
That itself is a challenge area, which you said.
Yeah.
Because you need to align it. How difficult it is to get people on the same page, and what is? Give me some typical gyan how to do it. Because that is a challenge which I see a lot of people finding. Whatever new initiative they do, they say, how do I align different stakeholders who are not experts of that field and who always have this concern that status quo, if this is challenged, it can affect their business?
One important change I think we could do that in, and one everybody should be looking at that is, are you really able to talk business language? Now, typically IT people are very tech savvy, they know how to write software, coding, development and all. Can you speak that business language? Or rather, I'll put it, can you put yourself in the shoes of a business people and talk that, okay, what can impact them in their business, or how can you make his life much more better than what he is? You can start talking that language. I think half of the problem is done, and that's how the change management can be done. Because if you talk that language, then he also, think about that and all, say that, yeah, my life is much easier with the new change you want to do that and all. I think changing that culture and your verbiage on what do you speak, I think is very important part. That's a big challenge. And going forward, with maybe we'll talk about later on this and all, the technology coming in now, I think user requirement, capability requirement is changing differently from there.
So that is a challenge. So, Rajesh, you could be in a marketing avatar even. Putting yourself in customer shoes is generally taught in marketing courses. That marketing people struggle for that, You cannot empathize, you cannot relate to your customers, which is there. Now, coming to the last 5-7 years, I mean, there's so much, a lot of people hear these fancy terms. Not fancy terms, they are real terms: artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital, virtual simulation. And you said that there's a lot of hype which is there. How much of that in the last, and a lot of people thought in the COVID times that this whole world will become digital in every way, or IT in every way. So how do you decipher what is relevant and what is not relevant? And what do you think are the major things which happened in the last 5 years, which are game changers?
First, now we have started dividing IT into two different buckets. Now, one bucket is hygiene, which is you run business, you need IT. You have to
day-to-day operations.
Day-to-day operation, buying, selling, and running plants and all. This is one part of the business, IT, which is, I call it hygiene. Now, in this part of IT, important is efficiencies. How fast you can, turnaround times and maybe just-in-time inventories and visibility to the shop floor and all is the one piece of IT which is the efficiency is the focus.
Okay, efficiency is the focus.
And second part now with the new technology coming in, now you say AI, ML, digital twins and all those things you talk about and all, IoTs and all. I think that second part of IT is, which is how do you add more value from the IT. Now you have a data coming from the ERP system, you have data coming from customers, you are getting feedback on social media and all. How can you use data to be more effective in your business or create value for the business going forward?
Okay.
So here was the efficiency part, which was again adding value, but more for type of cost saving efficiencies and all. But here it is the effectiveness of the business. So the efficiency versus effectiveness. And this bucket I call it as a digital. So that's a IT, this is digital. We created this around 6 years back in Maruti as a separate entity, It started with just 5 people that time. Today, I think more than 500 people work on only digital and all working
It's a
on.
separate exclusive
It's
digital
a separate
center.
setup to running that and all.
And,
So the whole,
and you're the person who created that also.
so the whole idea behind this is that these technologies are coming, day in, day out. Now, do you have the teams and processes who are studying this and all, trying to do a small pilot to see how much value it can create? Then see that, okay, overall, then up to from the pilot, learn that how can it be scaled up to the whole company, and is it worth investing into this and working on that going forward, and create a project and run it. And run it also project with very clear working with users, that let's build it together. So co-creation of new products, new ideas and all, and then focus every stage is what is the outcome you want to bring in. Have you got that and all? Do you have to redo it again? So co-create the solutions to really do that and all. I'll give you an example. As a Maruti, we started something, a subscription marketplace. Now, instead of buying the car, you can subscribe a car. It's a digital product we have built. And as a customer, you can really come to this platform saying, okay, on your mobile phone, I can want to take a car for 1 year, pay EMI on my mobile and use it and give it to you. So the product like this could be built by our digital team and create more revenue for the company. Maybe create a customer who would not have come to us to buy the car, now buying the car on this. So I think creating those digital products is a one big area of work, which is the digital, and both the things has to run parallelly. They work together because a lot of transaction data comes from here, and then is work on this is the other area.
Now, there are various industries in the entire country. There is the FMC industry, there's the e-commerce industry, there is even oil gas exploration industry. So are there some best practices of different industries or tenets which get you get inspired by, or some tenets of auto industry which work to other industries?
I think it work both ways. You look at those maybe airlines to the way they manage.
Because you go to various committees and seminars, so this is a part of
it. Is something which is being learned from both sides of the work. And if I put in one step deep into this and all, my feeling is there are 4 buckets of areas where we need to work on faculty. One very clearly bucket is the customer. Customer experience, customer understanding, delivering him fast, and all those things around. Is the one area of application where effectiveness and more business value can be created. Is the one big area of work. Second important, and this is going to become a huge success going forward, is the data. Today, data availability is huge in the company.
Too much of data.
Too much of data around.
You don't know what to do with data.
So, and data earlier used to be only numbers. Now it's a lot of social media, videos, all the data available from all sources around and all. Now and also that on data, a lot of technologies come in, AI, ML, generative AIs, all those things are coming in. Now, how as a company, you can create a right data supply chain in the organization. When I say data supply chain, it means that you have a users who's thinking of data, saying I want to do this out of the data, and how can I improve my business using the data? Is that come from the user side. And on the supplier side, you have all the data coming from various systems coming into one single platform, and providing that input to the users to really take decisions around and all. So
but in a form that it is easy for them to use.
Not easy to them. It's the intuitive for them.
Intuitive. So that term is not easy. Intuitive.
Intuitive to them, so that they can.
You don't require IT mindset to do it.
For my case and all, my system can predict that this robot will go down after maybe 15 days or 20 days. Can you change these components in the weekend itself? A data can give you that and all. So that's the kind of application which is coming up to improve your efficiencies and effectiveness is the area of work. So data is another important part of it. Third is the whole this technology are going to disrupt your working. So how efficiency could be done in your systems around IoTs and all those areas around. Business efficiency using data and using the new technologies coming in. Work on is the third area of work and all. And fourth piece, I think, is very important for us is the whole employee experience.
Employee experience.
So today, if your employees are not getting right experience, they can't give you a good experience to customer around and all. And I think we are working a big focus on how can efficiency can be brought into employees working over there and all. Today, technology like co-pilots, generative AIs are becoming, and we have seen in many areas efficiency improvement almost to 30 to 40% in their working. by using right tools to support them into day-to-day work. And some of the work they used to do in maybe a week time can be done in 10 minutes now, because that's the kind of technology available to do that now. So employee experience is becoming one big area of work. And how can you remove the routine work in the employee's day and either automate them or automate and outsource that work and use employee for doing only the brain work or a
Other
thinking
thing
work.
which a lot of people say is so much data floating around, so many users, this whole concept of data privacy or somebody hacking into your system. I mean, sites of Pentagon have been hacked, I mean, which is there. So how do you, this has become a big concern area.
Absolutely.
Are you creating a Frankenstein monster, which may actually, that one action can damage you? So how does it give you sleepless nights?
If you have right processes in place, it doesn't. I think it's very, very important for you to manage the data by security by design. So while, so one role which is coming up very new in our industry, I guess, is something called enterprise architecture role. Where you're saying you have, ERP system, you have the other system around and all. Do you have right architecture of the data and security by design, and also operation efficiency by design, so that you get all systems running and not compromising at all levels at any stage in the security front.
So there's security,
and
there's
privacy by design, because going forward privacy will become a major challenge. So this is something need to be embedded into your enterprise architecture of working or data architecture in working, and to ensure that you work on this. And otherwise, this could be a very, very serious for your business to sustain going forward. Is very, very important. But while doing so, design is not only important. You have to monitor also every day. So we have 24/7 monitoring centers who are looking at all attacks coming in. Anywhere something comes and all, immediately plugged in and all. So you need all those systems in place. And third, very important area is business continuity. See, anything cannot be made 100% foolproof and all.
The difference between 99.94 and 90.99.
So for that part, you have a business continuity plan in place that your business doesn't stop. I think it's important area.
Other things on the startups. A lot of people think startups are fascinated by IT. IT is the only goal to startups. And you have mentored some startups and you're working close with startups. What do you think what are they doing right, and what do you think they should be focused on from your perspective when you talk to startups?
I think we're running our mail program for last 5 years now, and we are coming out with a new version of that very soon. I think focus has been that ability to innovate and on a new technologies and create new products for somebody to consume is important. Traditionally, all big companies like us are designed to do RFP, RFQs, find right partners and do that and all.
Automotive is the most traditional industry that we are saying.
So can you really co-create solution with this startup is the idea for our corporate incubator we have started. And I think this has been a very successful program for us. I think we got some of the very,
Good. So that's any advice you have for them, or I would say advice is the wrong word, any perspective you have for the young people?
My feeling
because half the people who will be working on that will be half your age or my age.
I think important around in this area is the ability to find right use cases to improve your business.
Okay, so again comes back to the same thing.
What this our main program does it, our incubation program does it is, we help the whole young startups to work. We get mentored by senior people from our company. They support you from the understanding of business and how it's improving. It can improve our business going forward. So together with their, intelligence and the technology understanding and all from their side, business support from our side, we work on co-creating these solutions going forward for us. And some of those can be very fascinating, I think, things that have been done by them.
So one of the things concerns, and this is, you could say the devil's advocate say that there is so much happening on IT, robotics, chat GPT, artificial intelligence, that auto industry, which is a great industry for manpower creating employment can get dried up. What is your take on that?
I think this talk has been always there whenever new technology comes in. My thinking is, frankly, the whole nature of job changes. The number doesn't come down.
The
nature of job changes around and all. I think maybe today coders were in big demand some time back. With ChatGPT coming in now, the coders are no more required. So now you need somebody who can manage this conversational AI and build on that. Will be a new stream. So I think our industry, one important area is how can you keep yourself updated, what is new coming in, and keep on updating yourself to be relevant for the business.
So you have to update yourself on the technology, and then you have to update yourself on the changing world, and then you have to combine the two. It's quite a challenging
Absolutely.
task.
But I think you have to make yourself relevant for the business.
So relevance is important.
Important for you.
Now let's do some crystal gazing. From your perspective, I want you to highlight two challenges and two big opportunities for the auto industry through the IT route or the digital route. Challenges, and obviously with the challenges, you have to find solutions for them. But also, so let's put them two buckets, two challenges, two opportunities.
I think one big area of work going forward is the whole conversational AI which is coming in, or the chat GPT coming in. See, till now, all our knowledge or in the companies are lying in scattered in various laptops and various sources, data, and doing that and all. I think your ability to take right decision at time when you need is going to be very, very important for us.
So that's a challenge or opportunity?
Opportunity. So the big opportunity going forward, that how can you structure your whole, knowledge into a whole system in place to ensure that it is usable when you need it.
Okay, usable when you need it, so and relevant for you.
Relevant for you. I think that's the one big opportunity going forward to work on is important. And second, I think is important for our industry is the whole customer experience. Because the whole new generation coming in, everybody does Paytms and use Amazons and all those things in there. Now they need to buy cars also in very similar. They need a very similar experience while buying the cars, and maybe little more than that what they do it in the offline space. So how do you make sure that you map the whole entire journey from the search he does on the internet to look for the car? How can you track him from there to the time you can take an order from him? Make sure that how you can give a seamless experience across all the platforms around is going to be a...
And what are the opportunities you think which nobody has thought of it? Any other opportunity?
That could be my company secrets also. I'm not from
industry perspective, not from your company side.
No, but I think important going forward for everybody.
I'm not talking about IT professional, for talking across the industry.
I think one area which is really becoming tough to work on is when these new technologies are coming. Whole business people in the companies need to be understanding digital to be more effective. In the early ERP days, you used to create a screen, somebody add the data and get a report. Here you have to converse with the technology, saying, okay, forecasting something future, and then you have to understanding the whole maybe statistics and all those things around and all. So the capability of the users to consume, that requirement is going up very, very, heavily going forward. So the one big challenge going forward is how do you make sure that your whole large set of team members learn this or digital as a subject and create those opportunities, because it's no more that you give a requirement and IT gives you some solution. No, it is something you have to be co-created, so that capability to participate and deliver is going to be a big change factor.
Anything which you would tell the FANG companies, the technology companies, they should focus on, which probably they are not focusing on to that extent?
I think their understanding of businesses, they're good in technologies.
I said they don't understand business.
They don't understand businesses around and all. I think their understanding on how to really and to take it next level. Sometimes, the technology is too expensive and you feel that it's not enough to really value it is creating for you and all. So I think that technology companies understanding your businesses and creating right niche where you can add value to the business, and it's all game what in ROI of investment technology, and that's something you need.
So one personal question to you at last: how does Rajesh Uppal keep himself updated, relevant, reinvents himself in an industry which dramatically changes such a pace, and with the dramatic change in technology? How do you do it? So I need to know your mantra.
I am a big reader. So I normally read one book in every 2 weeks. So I think I always will have on my bedside 3 or 4 books lying, which I have read to read around and keep on.
So that curiosity, passion, and interest
is important.
And what's happening in the world?
Absolutely, and that you need to be very keen and you're continuously working on is important. And as I said earlier, you need to be relevant for the business. And in my area of technology, I think unless you are relevant for business, you can't guide the people to work on facts.
So Rajesh, it's been a fascinating discussion with you. And I would say not only of the IT industry, a lot of business professionals across various streams the same issue, the same challenges comes up, you give them a source of light on that thing. So fascinating. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.